Hi. For my contribution to this month's Accretionary Wedge, which is being hosted by Matt Kuchka at Research at a Snail's Pace, I wanted to show you a few of the desk crops I have here in my office at Northern Virginia Community College. I've got a bunch here. I mean, as you can see on the walls behind me, I've got a lot of rocks in this room. So I'm just going to highlight a few of the really great ones. This is a Stromatolite. It's from Glacier National Park, or actually just outside of Glacier National Park. It's a stromatolite that's Mesoproterozoic in age. It's from the Helena Formation. You can see the upward doming structure of the rock and the internal laminations, and it's weathered out in 3 dimensions, which is pretty freaking cool. All right, next up, we've got a rock from Patagonia. This is a conglomerate, a conglomerate that was deposited as part of the Cerro Toro Formation, something that fellow geoblogger Brian Romans helped familiarize me with, because that's an area where he's done a lot of research. This one here is a piece of schist with Andalusite porphyroblasts in it, or at least these used to be Andalusite, and then they were turned into Sillimanite, and then they were turned into Cerussite, so they're pseudo-porphyroblasts of Andalusite. But this is from the Littleton Formation. It's the rock that makes up most of the summit of Mount Washington, the tallest mountain in New England, and home of the world's worst weather. This one here is a bit of anorthosite. This is from the Adirondacks of New York. So basically what this is a rock that's made mostly out of feldspar, calcium-rich feldspar. Anorthosites are also found on the moon. They're not all that common here on Earth, but we do have a few of them, and the Adirondacks is one of the best anorthosite massifs around. In addition to that, I've got a local Virginia rock. This is the Catoctin Formation. If we can get the camera to focus on it, there we go. The Catoctin Formation is a Neoproterozoic volcanic unit. You can see these little round bits and pieces in here, the greens and the whites. Those are amygdules, basically volcanic gas bubbles that have been filled in by mineral deposits, epidote and zeolites and things like that. Pretty sweet looking rock. There are also a series of little veins that cut across here, and those veins are filled in with some sort of asbestiform mineral, maybe serpentine. Haven't checked out. Here's a neat amphibolite. This is from the Sierra Nevada of California. You can see some beautiful little crystals there of amphibole shining in the light. This is one I collected last fall when I was out in the Owens Valley for the California, the Geological Field Forum hosted by the Geological Society of America. This is pretty cool. This is Hematite Nodules from the Hell Creek Formation. The Hell Creek Formation is a latest Cretaceous formation in eastern Montana near Glendive, and these are concretions of hematite that formed and overgrew one another to make these very neat-looking concretions. This is also from the same formation, and it's got a certain shape that, I don't know, might remind you of something. And then the final rock, I guess, that I've got here on the table in front of me is one that I just collected in Turkey. And this one here, if you look at it on end, you'll see a bunch of quartz pebbles. And if I spin it around and you look at the other end, you'll see more of those quartz pebbles. But what's interesting about these quartz pebbles is when you look at them in the 3rd dimension, you'll see that they've been all stretched out. All right. So in other words, this is a stretched pebble conglomerate where the quartz pebbles have been very strongly lineated. They've also been foliated, which is why it's got this sort of overall slab-like dimension to it. But the lineation is what's really striking about this sample. For instance, here on this side, you can see that there's one pebble that's not actually quartz, but is some gray material, and that ends up basically being stretched into this really long feature. So it's probably 10 times as long as it is wide. So that's a stretched pebble conglomerate, I think that's enough outcrops for one day. Thanks very much for watching.